Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to November's Redcar Cleveland Business Network. I'm Darren Winter, and along with Karen King, we're volunteer co-managers of the Redcar Cleveland Business Network. If this is your first time watching, the Business Network was established as a regular meet where business owners like yourselves can meet other business people to share best practice advice and just provide a forum to offer business advice and guidance from some fantastic guest speakers. For a few years now, we've held monthly face-to-face meetings, but for the moment, we're replicating the experience as best as possible online with a live multi-channel stream. So today we're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. Those are on the Redcar Cleveland Business Network pages. And if you're not already following us on Twitter, I'll just put the addresses on the screen for now. Matt is in the background and he's waving there in the background there. So there's our handle there, so at BizNetworkRC. So by all means, if you're not a Twitter person, just sign up. It's really easy. Just go to twitter.com and then just make us your first port of call for following. And there's some fantastic advice and guidance that we're sharing on the channel. And there'll be some other channels that we're going to invite you to follow as well later on today. Thank you to Redcar Cleveland Borough Council, who we work in partnership with, and a big thanks to our sponsor, Bede Financial, who sponsor our website, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. So morning to Katie and John from Bede. Hope you're well. On today's agenda, shortly, I have a few announcements to make. Then we're going to invite each of you to introduce your businesses. I know people are still kind of like coming in at the moment, so we've got big attendance. I can see about a good, nearly 20 people at the moment on our Facebook page. So morning, everybody. Please just put into the comments underneath the live video who you are, what your business is. I will start to read those all out just in about sort of 5 or 6 minutes time. Usually we'd ask you to stand up and give us an elevator pitch for 15 seconds, so you kind of escape lightly, so you don't have to do that now. You can just type away on the keyboard. Just be aware that please don't share anything in the comments box that you don't want to be made public, as it is being recorded. Will be shown again later on. After the business mentions, this month's guests are standing by. I shall just bring them on the screen so you can see who they are. So we've got Richard Baker there from the Ambassadors. And we've got Michael Spayne there from the business growth team. So they're standing by to talk with us a little bit later on. So for the moment, I'll just pin it back to myself. You're probably going to have some questions to ask them in the comments box on Facebook and YouTube. So do, if you've got some already, just hang on to them for the moment and then just start pinging them in as they're starting to talk, and then we'll pick up on those at the end. Sue Beverley, International Trade Advisor, was due to speak this morning, but is sadly unwell. She was unwell through the night, and she does send her apologies. She's absolutely fine, I think, but she's just not very well, and there's a few bugs floating around. But I do have a slides, so I'm going to cover a little bit of what Sue was going to be talking about today, and then we'll invite Sue back into the new year. So if you've specially joined, don't leave, because I will cover the slides and we'll cover the advice. I've gone through a lot of the international trade stuff with Sue this year, so I can kind of talk from a business owner's perspective of what it's really like, and there's some fantastic support. And if you've never thought about trading overseas before, then 2021 should be maybe the first time that you pop it on your agenda to have a look at and speak to Sue and the team there, because you really can open up some doors, even just for the smallest of businesses. At the end of the event, we're also going to invite you to mention a special event, offer an announcement about your business or community venture that you have. Just tell us what you're doing, or something you want to put. We want to put a call to action out. Let us know what that is, and we aim to wrap up no later than 8:30. It might finish a little bit earlier today, just because the agenda's changed a little bit. But we won't keep you waiting. And if you need to drop off, that's absolutely fine, because you'll be able to watch this again. So it'll just be up on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel afterwards. Before we start, I have a few announcements to make. And since our last event, it's extremely sad news to hear that Julie Donaldson from Zetland FM passed away. She was a fantastic ambassador for the borough, and I'm sure you agree that she's really going to be sadly missed. So that was really, really sad news. The second lockdown is, as we all know, is now in force. And following on from the last two events, please do make use of the business resources that we've been talking about, to make sure that you're getting all the support that you need as business owners. Matt's going to put these in the links, but I'm just going to read a few things out here. Tees Valley Business, do visit the website teesvalleybusiness.com, or give them a call 01642 662 777. So teesvalleybusiness.com, 01642 662 777. The lady there will make sure that you get to speak to somebody, or they'll give you a call back. I know they're really busy at the moment, but they will call you back and get to understand your business and what some of the opportunities may be in terms of funding available for you, because there's different types of funding based on the type of business that you've got. So it's not that straightforward. Alternatively, we've got a fantastic business growth team, and Michael is on the call today. He's not really here to talk about that, but I've just put their address here on the screen for you. It's business.growth@redcarcleveland.gov.uk. So please drop them a line, because again, along with Tees Valley Business, they'll be able to tell you a lot of the funding streams that are available, and making sure you're getting everything, and maybe just helping answer some just general business advice, questions you might have, some ideas that you might need to be kind of thinking about to put into your business plan. The next thing I'd want to put on the list here is quite an important one, is that the local restrictions business support grant scheme is now live. That was live last night, so you might not have seen that yet this morning. I've put the address there on the screen for you to see, for you to type in. I'll leave it up there for a few more moments. Matt will pop it into the chat as well for you. So if you have restrictions imposed upon your business, you could be entitled to some support there from the government, but it's been administered by the council, and that's the procedure there. So that's the link that you need to follow. You fill in the form, and then the team will then process those requests. Any questions on that? Again, please go back to the business growth team. They'll be able to help and advise on that for you. Another great resource is Mind in Redcar. So if things are just getting maybe a little bit too much, you just need to talk to someone confidentially about how you're feeling, and it might be things that might be stressing you out, or you might know sort of somebody else who's going through a really particularly bad time at the moment, and you may want to kind of seek some thoughts and advice about maybe how you could handle things. Then the team there offer support a few days during the week, so go to the website there, rcmind.org, or there is a telephone number as well, but do just look at the website to check the timings and the days. It isn't 7 days a week for that service. Finally, FSB, it is usually a paid membership, but they do have a free weekly networking group on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I've put the web address there, so it is completely free to join. You don't have to pay anything to go there, but it's a networking session where you'll get to meet other business owners across the Northeast. There's one for the Tees Valley group, which is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And there is also one for Durham, which I think is on Tuesday, but you don't have to be in those areas. You can be in any areas, doesn't matter where you are. You can go, there's lots of them across the whole of the UK. So if your role is about sales or business development in your business and you're looking to pick up new customers, you could go to any of these groups completely for free. You will be asked to join, but it's entirely up to you whether you wish to or not. And it's not a lot of money. It's about £150 for the year with all the benefits that you get. But I've been to a couple of these, and they are great to drop in and drop out. And it's also nice to meet other small business owners as well, and pick up ideas and share best practice. I'm just going to move on to events. So if you just joined us in the meantime, just please introduce your business in the chat box on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll shortly read those out. Today is Armistice Day, Remembrance Day. So at 11 o'clock, it's going to be 2 minutes silence. So that might have escaped your calendar. Obviously, there's lots of other things going on as well at the moment. But that is an important event. So just be aware of that. And in completely no way connected, so this is just date order. You've obviously seen probably Black Friday events have already started. The main day is Friday the 27th of November. So I know not everybody is on digital platforms at the moment. So I've seen a lot of businesses now starting to get out on Instagram and Facebook. So if you're not already on the socials, just give it a go. Just start and then start talking about some of these big events, and try to introduce them into your business, because it really does help. I'm sure Richard's going to mention this today, so I won't steal his thunder. But there is the Redcar Cleveland Great Doorstep Switch on 3rd of December. So I want to leave that there. That's for Richard to pick up on. That's one of your diaries. Small Business Saturday on 5th of December. Obviously, huge measure this year about shopping local. So for all of us, our local businesses, this is a really fantastic day that we could sort of benefit from. But you need to get into it to support it. So have a look at the website. Just Google Small Business Saturday. There's a free toolkit, and tells you everything about the main event. We'll be supporting it on Facebook and Twitter. And like we always say every single month, please just tag us in on either of those platforms. All you have to use the little @ symbol and start typing Redcar and Cleveland Business Network. Hit the enter button. We'll get notified, and then we'll just share it for you. So please take advantage of that. Our next event, usually we don't have one in December, but we actually felt it really important that we keep in touch with people this year. So we're going to do an informal get together. It's going to be an evening event, virtual again. So Wednesday the 16th of December at 5 o'clock. So it's an informal get together with like a virtual drink. So there'd be no agenda, it'd just be like a nice chat. And we thought 5 o'clock might be nice. Hopefully we've tried to capture more people. So if that sounds something like you'd like to do and get involved in, I'll pop it out on Eventbrite as usual. I'll pop it out into the newsletter. Just go to our website, redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. If you don't get the newsletter, enter your email address, and I'll make sure that you'll get that invite before the end of this month. Next year, Wednesday, January the 6th, we are working way ahead into 2021, will be the first business network event for 2021. And we've got Digital City, and Sue will be coming from Department of International Trade, hopefully, to talk about business growth plans for 2021. So that's going to be the theme of the event, probably for the first couple of events next year, because I think that's what we're all going to be needing. So that's just a date for your diaries there. So Wednesday, January the 6th, 7:30 again, Digital City and Sue. And I definitely encourage everybody to attend that event, because there's fantastic support for businesses to get them going digital. So if digital's not your thing and you need help and support, Digital City have got lots of funding and lots of workshops there to help you embrace and leverage the benefits of digital for your business. A final couple of things here to mention. Just myself as a business owner, I'm receiving tons of spam at the moment, whether it's text messages, emails. I've had like robocalls, people claiming to be from Amazon, so claiming I've made orders and all sorts of things. Please be aware. Everybody's very, very busy at the moment, but do think twice before you pick up the phone, before you click on the link, before you do anything, because there was a lot of very well constructed emails and messages and phone calls going out, and it is fraud, and I'd hate to see anybody be taking advantage of that. It happened to myself a couple of years ago. I was busy, I wasn't paying attention, and my identity got stolen and everything. So it's you just don't need that at this time of the year, on top of everything else as well. So do be careful, and do just let your friends and family know as well, because it isn't just businesses, it is everybody's affected by it, and they look so genuine. They're getting better and better and better. Final thing to mention, Redcar Town Deal, and the consultation is now finished. But for those who just need a bit more information, do have a look at redcartowndeal.com. Go to the website. It tells you a lot more about this proposed project of £25 million improvements for the Redcar area, and some of the proposed projects that are being put forward. There'll be a bigger announcement probably toward the end of this year and beginning of next year about what those final projects will be. But for the moment, do get involved and have a look. to understand about a lot more about some of the things that are going on in the area, because there's some fun above all of the bad stuff that's going on in the press and the media at the moment. There is some really fantastic work going on to really sort of bolster up the town, for years to come. So I just really want to get the message out there that it is all positive on the business front for Redcar. Looking forward, for the next 5-6 years, even longer. Okay, so that's a lot from me. Apologies, that's a large introduction. Let's just go across to the comments now. Let's have a look to see who's in. If you've mentioned anybody, Matt, I'm going to hand over to you. Did anybody put any comments in there?
There's some businesses on there.
Okay, I can't quite see them. Can you just... Now, sometimes, usually this should work, but for some reason it's not working for me.
Pebbles by the Sea, Jen Bates.
Pebbles by the Sea, Jen Bates, great.
Local
Morning.
Business Wellbeing Products.
Local Business Wellbeing Products, that's fantastic. Morning.
Kay Howell, Advanced Nurse Practitioner.
Kay Howell, Advanced Nurse Practitioner. Morning.
Dermalogics Aesthetics on the High Street.
Dermalogics Aesthetics, okay, on the High Street. Morning.
Karen Winspear.
Morning, Karen Winspear. Senses Wellbeing, congratulations again.
November.
Who, sorry?
They open the 1st of November.
Oh, they open the 1st of November. Fantastic. It's so annoying I can't see this on my screen.
With no funding, the community have helped build this amazing fit-for-purpose venue.
Okay, so that venue opened with no funding whatsoever. They've managed to get it going. It's a fantastic project.
Please check her out on Facebook for details.
Yep, so check out Senses Wellbeing, CIC. Just search that into Facebook.
We've got Stuart Myers, Financial Protection Advisor.
Morning, Stuart.
Life insurance.
Stuart Myers for life insurance there. Morning, Stuart. Nice to see you on in the group, and hope you're well.
Sue Allen, Sue's Deja Vu, small second-hand business, 18 months old.
Morning, Sue. Okay, I couldn't quite catch all of that here, but morning, Sue. What was the business again?
Deja Vu.
Deja Vu.
Second-hand business.
Second-hand business. Okay, that sounds good.
Andy Mogg from Lemon Top Creative, making Lemon Top Gym.
Okay, Andy Mogg, Lemon Top Gym. I think we all need a little bit of that at the moment. So morning to you. Sue, just tell us the type of things that you do that you're selling on your second-hand stuff there.
She's based in Ormsby.
Well, based in Ormsby. Okay, great. And then to come back to Lemon Top Gym, that'd be fantastic. It'd be nice to get you in next year, and then maybe get some real samples. I think that'd be a nice thing to aim for.
Project Escape.
Okay, Project Escape. Morning, guys. You've done very well for Digital City, haven't you? And it might be good for you to bring you in next year, Nick. If it's you, Nick, on the call today, maybe talk about your experience with Digital City and how it's really helping your business and your growth plans. Because I know you've been a member of the group here for a while, so I'll catch up with you about that.
Mark Pomplewell from Mark Drain Doctor.
Okay, and Mark Pomplewell from Mark Drain Doctor. It's a lot for me to go through this morning. It's like, so morning to you, Mark. Thank you very much for mentioning those in the comments. And I'm sorry they're not it's just not shown on my screen here, but it's great to see so many businesses here. First of all, I'm just going to bring in our first guest, Michael Spayne. He's recently new to the business growth team at Redcar Cleveland Borough Council. He's only going to talk for a very short few moments, really, just to introduce himself. But Michael, this is over to you. It's time for me to keep quiet.
Right, morning everyone. I hope everyone can hear me okay. As Darren said, my name is Michael Spayne. I'm a business investment and policy advisor at Redcar Cleveland Borough Council in the growth team. So I'm new to that role, but I have been around quite a while doing similar work. I also previously ran my own business for several years, and I did some overseas trading, which is relevant to what I'm going to be talking about today. Just a little bit about the business growth team generally. We are here to support businesses in the Redcar and Cleveland area, existing businesses and startups, and also social enterprises as well. The wide range of help and support on offer, but that includes, for example, accessing financial support, in some cases grants, and we can help you negotiate your way through the application process. So there's a lot of work that we do within the team. However, my particular remit within the team is to offer information, advice and support to businesses, specifically in relation to the EU transition or Brexit, which we tend not to use that word too much these days. But so that's what I'll be talking about very briefly this morning, and I haven't got a great deal to say, so I'll be fairly quick, hopefully. As of today, there are 50 days before the transition period comes to an end. So as from January the 1st, 2021, 50 days away, the transition period will come to an end. I'll just go through very quickly through some background facts by way of sort of just kind of introduction, really. It's 4.5 years now since almost 4.5 years since we had the referendum, but we actually left the European Union. The UK left the European Union on January the 31st this year. I have come across some people, not necessarily in the business community, but family and friends who think that we're still actually a member, but we have left already. However, since the UK left, we've been in a transition phase where the country remains in the customs union and the single market. So in simple terms, most things have continued during this period as they did previously. But however, as I've said, from January the 1st, that transition phase comes to an end. So with or without a deal, and the negotiations are going on now, you'll no doubt be following these up on the news. With or without a deal, that transition phase comes to an end, and the UK will no longer be in the customs union or the single market. There are certain things that businesses can do and should do before that time, and I'll come on to that in a minute. But every single person and every business in the country will be affected by this change, some more than others. I would say that there are 3 broad areas where businesses would be affected. Those who export to the European Union, those importing from the European Union, and also those businesses that employ overseas workers. The rules on employing overseas nationals will change, not just from the EU, but more generally. However, even if you're thinking, well, these don't really affect me, I don't import, I don't export, I'm not planning to, many businesses will be affected in terms of the supply chain. I'll just give you a quick anecdote. My car was in the garage recently, and the chap had to keep hold of it for 2 weeks. He was waiting for a part from the Czech Republic, and because of the COVID situation, the factory that produced these parts was closed. He had to get it from a different supplier, and he said to me, "I'm a bit worried." He said, "I'm a bit worried about when we come out of the EU next year. He's never really considered it before, but it could have a big impact on my supplies." So it's something that's worth thinking about if you've not done so already. But there'll be lots of, there's lots of unknowns about what will happen in the future, but we can expect possibly things like changes in exchange rates, which would have a knock-on effect on prices. Some goods may be cheaper than previously. There may be shifts in supply patterns and so on. But primarily, I'm here to offer advice, guidance and support to those businesses in relation to this transition phase. So importing, exporting, employing overseas workers, and any issues that are related to that transition phase. That's really all I wanted to say in terms of that. So I'm open to any questions, but I will just add another thing in as well, a bit of a plug. I have recently, on a different note, I have recently been speaking to some local businesses on the phone. We're doing some research on the impact of the pandemic on businesses, and this is feeding into sort of policy development within the council, and no doubt management and the sort of seniors within local authorities will be feeding information around the country to national government. So if there are any businesses out there that would like to speak to me about the impact that the pandemic is having on them, if you can let me have your details, and I'll maybe get in touch in due course. So that's something that I'm doing as well. I'll leave it there in terms of the stuff that I've talked about on transition issues, but I am open for any questions, and if anyone wants to get in touch with me, I'll leave you my my details, and we can have a chat or email. Okay, thanks, Darren.
That's great. Thanks very much, Michael. And yeah, I think it's really interesting that I know a lot of business think Brexit is not going to affect them, but you've just given one really good example, kind of the supply chain. So if you've not looked already, what can you remember? I'm putting you on the spot here. What the website is for people to check? There's like a government list, isn't there, for the Brexit checklist?
Yeah, I can't remember it right off the top of my head, but it is I can supply these details. But there's actually a national advertising campaign at the moment. It's on the TV, and it gives you the web address on that. It's very good. If you go to that website, the main government one, that can kind of take you through and redirect you to stuff that's relevant to you. So I'll bring that up before the end of the session, so people can get that.
I had a quick Google, and the address is www.gov.uk/transition.
Yeah.
So if you go to that website address, it'll tell you everything that you need to know about whether your business is affected, some ideas that you need to maybe sort of considering. And then you can just get in contact with Michael through the business growth teams. I'll just put the address up on the screen there, so the email address there. So business.growth@redcar-cleveland.gov.uk. So if you've got any specific questions like Michael's talking about, please just drop him an email. If you've got any questions now that you'd like to ask, by all means put them in the chat. But this is kind of for the benefit for people that might not be seeing this live, so just watching this on replay. I'll just have a look across just on the chat here. I don't think there's any questions coming in for you at the moment, Michael. So thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. And if any questions do come in, we'll sometimes they do just after we've kind of been talking, and we'll definitely pick up on those. So thanks very much.
Thanks.
So thanks very much to Michael for that quick presentation there about EU advice. So if you need EU advice, please just get in contact with him using that email address. It kind of moves swiftly on. This would be really Sue Beverley's place now to talk about Department of International Trade and about what she does. Unfortunately, as I said, Sue's ill, but I do have a slide, so I'm going to kind of go through some of these slides and that now with you. So just bear with me a second. Let's have a look. Let's try this one. Oh, this is when it doesn't always work, does it? This is oh, damn it. Let's see if this works. No, it's not going to. Okay. Oh dear, never mind. Okay, well, we did do some trials before and everything was working, but it's not going to. It doesn't want to pick up on the PowerPoint. It only wants to do my screen. So, okay, I'm going to talk through just the points here. We'll somehow we'll share this presentation online. I think it's just going to be one of those days today. The main website for exporting is great. Go to great.gov.uk. It's a fantastic website, and I use this myself, great.gov.uk, because if you're new to trading overseas, this is the first place that you need to fill in a very simple profile of your business, and also just start selecting some keywords about how you can describe your business, because it then uses a kind of a match finder tool, I suppose, to look for opportunities that might be of interest to your business. And it's really interesting because even things like sort of food and drink, things like you might be sort of making pottery items, it could be anything that you sort of make or you sell. There's opportunities for everybody overseas, and it's not, if the thought of selling overseas, you think, well, I've got to do everything myself. You really don't, because there's a fantastic team there, Department International Trade, that will help you and talk through to help you understand what your unique selling points are. The kind of the areas that they can help with, they provide events, there's export opportunities, connections to overseas posts. So what that means is that they'll help identify opportunities overseas, maybe speak to other partners to maybe have a chat with you yourselves to understand how your business might be, but might benefit from being, promoted in other countries overseas. There's one-to-one support that's available, funding opportunities, and that's things like translation costs. Could be for websites, even for travel. I know we can't do travel at the moment, but there is, once that comes back again, then you might have a need to actually go and meet or go and sell your products. So there is funding towards that. And there's also like an action plan that can help you sort of build, which is really important. They kind of sit very well alongside your business plan and marketing plan. And there's also trade missions, and I've done those myself this year. I've just done 2 trade missions, one in Singapore and one in Indonesia, and they were virtual trade missions because obviously we can't travel. But there's still the amount of work involved in that. They took quite a few months for me just to get everything there together, but everything is really well structured. There was loads of help and advice. You get to meet lots of other business owners on the calls. They give you advice in terms of how you should best present yourself, on a camera, online, perhaps you can be selling your business as well, and that's all free. It was all fully funded. There was no cost to my business whatsoever or to me. It's just a case of just giving up my time and then sort of doing the plans and then turning up to start speaking to other businesses. So through those trade missions, I've spoken to about 7 very large global businesses about some of the services that we offer in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So something very different that we're new to selling, but is of particular interest to larger businesses overseas. As I say, it doesn't even have to be as grand as that. If your business is something, is making something unique to this area, say like the Lemon Top Gym, I think is a really good example. Then there's a food and drink specialist, Manuel Fantin, he's a fantastic guy. He's not for this area, Tees Valley, but you'll be able to speak to him because he'll be able to talk to you about some of the opportunities overseas for food and drink. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't really matter what your business is. There's opportunities for you. Let me just see what else I can talk about here just through these slides. I'm sorry I can't show you these, but it's all free help and advice. There is funding. This is from the European Regional Development Fund, and I know we've just talking about coming out of Europe, but some of this funding is still being earmarked and we can still take advantage of it, but it's not going to be here forever. So definitely start thinking about it, get some inquiries made on your behalf, and I'll tell you how to do that shortly. But there is an Export Academy. There's an e-commerce 6-week program starting in January 2021. So that's something Sue will talk about, and we'll share some links once I get some more information from her on our Facebook page and Twitter pages. And the virtual trade missions that I mentioned, she shared like a picture from a Paris trade mission, and I can see some Redcar Cleveland business owners already in there. We will get this presentation, I'll convert it and upload it so you can see all of this. There is so the couple of trade missions, actually there was a food and drink online mission earlier on this year to the United Arab Emirates. It was in earlier this year, and then there was a tech one to Indonesia, which is the one that I did. That was in September, and so I've just done Singapore as well, which was October. So there's plenty going on. Sue has put a telephone and email address details here, so if you've got a pen and paper, the email address, and we'll put this in the chat later on, sue.beverley@tradene.org, or you can call 0345 136 0169, and you can also email northeast@mobile.trade.gov.uk, but really the best place to start with is just go to the great.gov.uk website. If you get your profile filled out, there is a little button there that can connect you with people like Sue, and so start on that journey first while you're waiting to hear back from Sue, and you get an idea of kind of how everything works. And it's really easy to do, very easy to set up. So we will get Sue back in January. We do wish her a speedy recovery. But hopefully that kind of acts as a bit of a fill-in. And I'm very sorry again, I can't get the PowerPoint to share. It just wouldn't share on my screen, but it was working beforehand for some reason, just not working now. But we will get that up so you can have a look through that. So thank you very much for your attention on that. And without delay, I'm going to speedily hand over to Richard. So Richard Baker's from Redcar Cleveland Ambassadors. So Richard, spotlight is for you. Hopefully your presentation works.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Darren. Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned now with the technical difficulties, but hopefully, fingers crossed, things might work. Yes, so my name is Richard Baker. I'm the Place Marketing Manager for Redcar and Cleveland. And I'll now attempt to share my screen as I've got a presentation to show people. I might have the same problem as you, Darren. Like you say, it's one of those mornings. Let's have a look. Yeah, the PowerPoint was there before, but it's now not there.
I don't really. This is the problem with live broadcasting, isn't it? We did this all the tests before we came on. Literally, I'd say about sort of 10 minutes beforehand. We always do a rehearsal, and everything was working. And for some reason, it's not allowing us to select the PowerPoint. I can only share my desktop, but even when I went to do that, it wasn't really allowing me to fully complete. Okay, do you just want to talk through, Richard, about kind of where you that you can from the slides that you got, and then we'll share them later on. I'll support them in a certain way so people can view it.
Yes, I will do. I'll just try and minimize so I can see things. So yeah, I mean, as I said, there's lots to be positive about at the moment, despite the current situation that we're in. And this project is exactly about that, really. In terms of where we started, the aims and objectives of the project were to raise the profile and improve the perception of Redcar and Cleveland, promoting as a great place to live, enjoy and do business. So ultimately what we wanted to do with this was increase the numbers of visitors, inward investments, retaining and growing existing businesses, increasing demand for new housing, and also a private place amongst residents that they would feel that they're living in a really good place. Perhaps there was a feeling that they didn't at that point. What we wanted to do was bring all the positives to the fore to enable people to sort of feel a bit more upbeat about the place. The benefits of having this project in place is that we can promote the place with a unique, independent brand. It's private sector led through the Place Board and the Ambassador Programme, which I'll come on to. So it's about the community shouting over itself as the programme. We have high profile events, and a big of it is we have daily good news shared on social media. So it's only positive stories that we have. So it's a real good feel good factor. And importantly, and I'm really strong on this project is non-political. So this is all about place, not politics, really. So what we've done so far, I mentioned the Place Board. We've got a nice attractive brand. We've got a storybook which tells our unique story. We've got fantastic photography. We've got Ambassador Programme with their events. We've got a great website and active media profiles. And I'll come on to some of those things in a second. We've got, this is where a PowerPoint would have been good. I've got some nice images here of the storybook that we produced, which tells the story. I can just run through some key achievements, which I think is quite important. We've got around about 440 ambassadors signed up, which in essence is the largest signed up network in the Tees Valley. So I think that's a really good achievement that we've all managed to get to. We've had 9 ambassador events, which have been attended by about 550 people. We're close to 5,000 followers on our social media channels. We've got close to 300,000 page views on the Place website. We've got fantastic Google rankings. We're first on many search terms relating to Redcar and Cleveland. We've got a monthly ambassadors newsletter with a really healthy open rate. And we've presented to many organisations and had stands at various business events and those kind of things. I mentioned the place website, which is redcarcleveland.co.uk. That's the main site to go to get information on living in Redcar and Cleveland, enjoying the place, which is all about the sort of visitor economy, the business news, or the websites that I think Michael may have referred to earlier, that the business sections on there, information on the ambassador program and how to join, and all of the good news is on that website as well. We're active on the 4 main social media channels, so Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. All of these channels can be, and the links to them can be appropriately put in the chat or sent around afterwards. Like I mentioned, we've got close to 5,000 followers on the dedicated social media channels, so I'm really pleased with how those numbers are increasing. I mentioned the ambassador events. We've had 9 events. We've had 7 physical events pre-COVID, which we try to do every sort of 2 to 3 months. And we've been to sorts of venues across Redcar and Cleveland, covering a variety of topics. And we've had 2 online events. So we had one in July, which was Getting by Business, which is slightly ironic, seeing as though we're in a second lockdown at the moment. And then last week we had a Made in Redcar and Cleveland event, which was a really nice uplifting event, which was we had some really good guest speakers talking about the things that they have passionately made from Redcar and Cleveland. So that was a really nice sort of tonic that I think we all probably needed. We've generally had some really good feedback from the events, and I think that people have valued those events in terms of really good networking. So we tend to have around about 60 people on average at those events. So they're usually early mornings like we are today. It's a great opportunity for people to get together and have a good chat. And then we managed to get some really good high profile speakers at those events. So I think people do value those events. Moving on to the ambassador network, which is something that this is the bit that people can really get involved in. What it's about is talking Redcar and Cleveland as a place to live, enjoy, and do business. I've talked about the ambassador events. We use the branding and photography to help promote the place. We've got some publications that people can take to exhibitions and stuff like that when we're hopefully able to do that in the not too distant future. Importantly, following on social media, sharing and interacting and telling us your good news. That's really, really important. Into benefits for people. So yes, you do get to go to those meetings and hear from some really good movers and shakers, really. You get those networking opportunities, media opportunities, priority invites for things. You get a profile on the website, which we've expanded the present ambassadors on the place website now. So what you can now get is your own individual page, where you can have a few logos, images, some text, some relevant links, which could be particularly you on the run up to Christmas, particularly in this current period that we're in, where people can't physically visit shops. And you get promoted in the newsletter and social media channels to a growing number of people. So it's a really good thing to be part of, and most importantly, I haven't said it yet, it's entirely free to do. The current situation, so obviously things changed from March and we weren't able to do the things that we normally do, but what we've been doing since then is focusing on some things, which have been sharing the good news on social media. So at the start of the lockdown period in the sort of March and April period, everyone will be aware of all of the good things that people did for the community. So the sort of helping vulnerable and all the sort of really good community initiatives that took place. So we were at the heart of those, and we created a special section on the website to highlight those things. We've been focusing on individual stories on the website of business and ambassadors and the things that they've been doing. I talked about those ambassador profiles on the website. We've had the 2 online ambassador events, and we've been sharing photography and video, particularly on Instagram, and I feel that the Instagram profile has probably come off a little bit because we've focused on the things we can promote on there during lockdown, which has been the beautiful landscapes that we're fortunate to have in Redcar and Cleveland, and emphasising the health benefits that people can get from that. whilst we have to maintain social distancing, we've still got an amazing place for people to get out there and get some fresh air. So we've been focusing on that element really. So what can you do this morning? You can join us in boosting Redcar Cleveland by signing up as an ambassador, and all of the links I can put in the chat in a bit, or we can send round. Tell us your good news, follow and share on social, and send us your good place photographs. Looking ahead to 2021, I've got on my slide here a brighter future question mark. Obviously, we all hope that will be the case. We've got some initial plans for things that we can do and get involved in next year. Hopefully, we can get back out there and have those ambassador events face to face. A couple of venues that spring to mind that we'd like to use. Firstly, Cleveland Wall Garden. So when that opens, we want to be right at the forefront of that and have an ambassador event right at the start of that amazing ability opening. And secondly, we kind of committed to having an event at Flats Lane Country Park, supporting the Parks Live initiative and emphasising the amazing sort of open spaces that we have. So that's something that we were committing to do as well, and we hope to do next year. Two quite exciting plans that at board level we've discussed, and I think these would be amazing and something that we really need to look forward to. Firstly, an ambassador expo, which is a bit of a step forward from a traditional ambassador event, in that we'd get in a big room and everyone could go along there with their pull-up bags, their stands, their displays, and really showcase what they're all about. So it's sort of like taking the networking another step forward. So that would be a really good event. And secondly, this really excites me, is an ambassador awards event. So towards probably the back end of next year, that could be a great event whereby it enables us to have many months in advance of that event of putting the event, promoting positivity, of getting people to think about positive things, who has done good stuff in the borough on the run up to that event. So watch this space on that one. Getting back out to public events again, if only this presentation could work. I've got a couple of nice images here of the events that we've had in the past, of the Festival of Thrift in particular, here on the screen. Hopefully next year everything will be fine to get back out there, and I know that the Thrift team are pleased to have received funding to enable that to happen. And importantly, businesses and attractions open. In front of me, I've got an image of the Saltburn Cliff Tramway. Things like that we took for granted, that hopefully we can get back out there next year. And a photograph of Amy from Jeff Crust Furniture as well. Hopefully, again, businesses can reopen, have a good December to start with, but then get back in business next year, really. Just to sort of conclude, in the Christmas period, as Darren mentioned, we'll do what we can to share Christmas activities. Obviously, things will be significantly different this year. Darren specifically made a great doorstep switch on, which is the 3rd of December. My Enjoy colleagues have been working on that, but what that's about is leading towards a sort of place switch on at 7 p.m. on the 3rd of December. There'll be a live feed online, but there's things that people can get involved in advance of that, making lanterns, decorating streets. There's various craft things for children to do. And Ray and Flash will be travelling the borough, so keep an eye out for a giant light bulb. I think that's what that's about. There's information on the Enjoy section, which is redcarcleveland.co.uk/enjoy/Christmas. So there's full details. But hopefully that covers what I would have liked to have done PowerPoints, and happy to take any questions that anybody may have.
Thank you so much, Richard, and apologies to everybody once again. So the technical problems this morning, and we've done the rehearsal this morning. We've been working hard to get this all kind of pulled together, and unfortunately, we're kind of beaten by technology, and sometimes it's just the way it goes. So it's certainly not a reflection of all the work for the guests I've put in this morning. So I can only just apologise, but we will get the PowerPoints. We will share them online. I just need to convert them for Facebook because it won't take PowerPoints as such. But we will get them up there. We'll get them up on the Redcar Cleveland website as well. So we'll be able to kind of share these presentations so everybody can see everything that's been talked about. I'll just have a quick look on the Facebook now, see if we've got any questions for you, Richard. But I think I don't think we have at the moment. So if you've got any questions then for Richard, I think the best thing to do is that if you're not an ambassador at the moment, do go to the website redcarcleveland.co.uk, and there's a button there. You can just click to sign up to be an ambassador. It's free. You'll get invited to join all the events. They are just virtual at the moment, but like Richard said, there's loads of plans next year to be holding in real life events, and there's loads of free ways to promote your business via the newsletter, via the blog, via the website. So tons of free. So if you're looking for free publicity and in a positive and constructive way, then do take advantage of Richard's offer. I did mention, so thank you very much, Richard. I really appreciate your presentation. I'm sorry kind of were plagued by technical problems there, but I appreciate it. And we'll get you back again early part of next year. And hopefully technical problems will not be quite so prevalent then. I did mention at the very beginning, if anybody's got any messages they'd like to share about their businesses, any offers, any specific call to actions, do put them in the comments and we'll read those out. Just while you might be typing those into Facebook, we'll just start to wrap things up. Just a reminder just of a couple of the next few events. Don't forget today, 11 o'clock, it's the Armistice Day. There's 2 minutes silence. Richard just said it's the Redcar Cleveland Great Doorstep Switch on the 3rd of December. You've got Small Business Saturday, the 5th of December. Our next event is going to be an informal get together on Wednesday, the 16th of December at 5 o'clock. And that'll go, an invite will go out via the newsletter and also on Eventbrite. And if you don't get either and you'd like to come along, get involved, just go to the website redcarclevelandbusinessnetwork.com. And then just sign up there, and you'll get an invite. And then next year, the first event of 2021 is Wednesday, January the 6th at 7:30 a.m. And we've got Digital City and hopefully soon from Department of International Trade and talk about business growth plans for next year as well. I'll just quickly scoot back to Facebook to see if we've got any comments. Anybody would like to talk about anything there? Any shout outs? No, that's everything. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I hope you were able to pick up on some of the advice today. And please do keep in touch with everything that's going on in your business, and hopefully we'll see you for our kind of casual get-together Wednesday, 16th of December, 5 o'clock. All right, take care, and have a good rest of the week.